Hey, everybody, let's take some time out and look at how democracy works in a country. When we start off, we talk about things like politics and government. Politics is basically the who, what, when, where, and how of how people get what they want. It involves public policy, the decisions that are made that decide how that policy is divided up and who gets the benefits from that policy as well. We elect those people who are in our government to make those decisions on our behalf. So we have that politics and that government working together or working kind of hand in hand to make sure that everything works in our society. In our civic life, the way we live as individuals, we also have something called social capital. And I usually say that social capital is the investment that we have in each other and in our communities. And what we have found throughout the years is that there is a lack of social capital in each other and in our communities, and we're kind of becoming more individualistic in our life. Here we have the different forms of citizen activities that we would say are part of our private life, our civic life, and our civic life that involves political participation. You notice that we focus on the political participation part through voting, political campaigning, and attending meetings. We live in what we would call a representative democracy as opposed to a direct democracy. In a direct democracy, we would vote on our issues directly as a public. But what we have is a representative democracy where we elect people to do the job for us. So we have our congressmen, our state legislators, our senators, our mayors, our councilmen, our aldermen. They make up what we would call our representative democracy. In terms of political power, we have three different schemes or three different models. We have one called the ruling elite theory, which the wealthy and well-educated citizens make the decisions and they have a disproportionate amount of authority in our society. We have pluralism, where we want more people involved of different backgrounds, different economic standards, different races, different religions, and so on. And then we have something called biased pluralism, where the wealthy still have a disproportionate influence in our political system, but there are so many from that background who are actually in part of our government. Usually at the state level, we see things that we would call an initiative or referendum. And in our next slide, or next module, I will keep it real by telling you how a recall works. Most states have an initiative and a referendum, but they do not have a recall process in the states. But the most famous recall that we had took place about 17 years ago, which I'll get into in our Let's Make It Real module. When we talk about ideology or political ideologies, as I like to call them, we would talk about how we have a clear and coherent system or a clear, coherent set of beliefs about how our government should work. We either talk about our government as having a more intrusive or a big government, or we could look at it and say we have a government that takes a hands-off process, or that we have a minimal government. So when we look at ideologies, you might hear things like socialists or liberals, conservatives or libertarians. In what we would call a liberal democracy, where we're not talking about specific people, we're talking about an American experience that involves individual rights and the popular control of government. So we live in a liberal democracy. That's what our country is founded on. John Locke, the British philosopher, who Thomas Jefferson took many ideas for the Declaration of Independence from, talked about things like majority rule, which is very important, and the social contract, which we have as our Constitution, and natural rights that we are born with. When we talk about political participation, we also look at it from a liberal democracy perspective, that we want to have more inclusive participation of people in government. So therefore, we look back to the days of Martin Luther King Jr., and Susan B. Anthony, and everybody in between who fought for a right to participate in this governmental process. We also have to understand that when we talk about how our citizenry works, that we do have a growing older population in this country. And we also have, as we will talk about later on in the semester, we talk about those civil rights and civil liberties that protect everyone of different religions, races, economic backgrounds, age, and sexual orientation as well. Understand that when we talk about our liberal democracy, we have to insist that our majority rules, but also we also have to see that the minority in the country, not when I say minority, I'm not talking about race, but when we talk about minority, what we're talking about are those people who are less than the majority, so less than 50% of the population. So whoever is in the minority, their rights have to be respected as well.